Welcome back. It's homecoming on the hill for the Hogs. And this, I would say, is one of two games besides senior night that are must-win games for the home team, that is. And then take that into consideration. Take the heartbreaking loss at Auburn. Take we're heading into a bye week. And then on the road in College Station coming up next. Alyssa, how big is this game for the Hogs to try to get this win?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely huge. And not only, as you mentioned, is it homecoming, so you're going to have a little bit more people here at the game that they can have at the game than you're usually used to. But at the same time, you have more eyes on this team than you have in a really long time, DJ. And so I think it's really important to continue to improve. We've seen it in the stat sheet, even though they lost last week. Make sure you go in to next week with some momentum. No one wants to have a loss, you know, on their resume for 2 more weeks. You don't want that kind of juju. And so get a win, you know, go into the bye week looking good.
Speaking of the juju, Mike, is it too soon to say we're in a must-win situation as far as making sure we still have a good football season?
We're getting close. I mean, that loss last week, which should have been a win, hurt. Ole Miss is one of those geographical rivals, but there's more to it than that. There's a whole Houston Nutt thing when he went there, and that made some fans mad. There's just things about Ole Miss that some people don't like. I don't like their frat boys on campus. It's the worst place for media to visit.
No, everybody loves the Grove. I don't know what he's talking about.
Mike doesn't like the Grove.
I'm talking about the Grove. I'm talking about when you're on campus and you're working, the frat boys show up, and they're using foul language. But look, here's the added thing. Lane Kiffin was up for this job and probably could have had it. Then all of a sudden he wants more money and he ends up there. So that ticks some fans off. So there's just some issues here. So it would be important to win this game.
Yeah, and it's huge. And I think everybody's pleasantly surprised with how competitive we are this football season, being on the field with Auburn and all that stuff. And so once again, we're going to find ourselves in a situation where we can pull out this ball game. And speaking of that, you need players to make plays. So for that, we're going to head down to the stadium. Tara, who's going to be that guy for the Razorbacks today that makes the difference?
You guys, I'm going to go with Rakeem Boyd as my player of the game this week. You know, he's back from an injury, obviously didn't play against that Auburn team, but he hasn't broken out yet. Those first 2 games of the season, he was kind of held back, and so I think that this is the game where he really breaks out. The Ole Miss defense struggles a lot, and they give up a lot of yards as well, and I think this is where Rakeem Boyd breaks out this season, and finally Arkansas can get that run game going.
All right, players be warned before we say it as we're back in studio. Mike, it's your time to do a prediction.
The curse.
You could be cursed depending on who he picks.
I picked Trey Knox 2 weeks ago, worried that I would jinx him. He actually played well. They just didn't throw the ball to him. So I took a chance, picked him again, and then he doesn't play well. So I've come up with a way that I'm going to avoid all of that. I'm going to pick a player that I don't think is going to be a problem for me because I can't jinx him if he's not in the game. So I'm going to pick Bumper Poole. We've been told that he's hurt, probably not going to play in this game. So, gee, how can I jinx Bumper Poole on the bench? You know, so I'm picking Bumper Poole.
If something happens and Bumper Poole's a player of the game, we're taking you to Vegas. All right, that'd be pretty special. Go ahead, Alyssa.
Well, you know, look, guys, this is what I think. It's a reverse spell on Trey Knox. Mike's jinxed him. I'm trying to unjinx him. So I feel like if I pick him, then Trey Knox will have no more bad games, right? So I'm going with Trey Knox. And honestly, he does need a breakout game. Sam Pittman says he's been practicing great, but like Mike mentioned, he's had a few drops last week against Auburn. So I know that he's frustrated, but he's got to stay the course. This is the type of game where you could hear his name a lot, and I think that's definitely going to help his confidence. I think it's a little shaky right now.
Alyssa, I'm with you. That's going to be my player of the game, too. Don't be mad at me for picking the same player of the game.
This is good. We're reversing the curse.
We are helping. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Trey Knox, too. And the reason I say that is just the emergence of Davion Warren, you know, the potential of Traylon Burks coming back as well, and just our running backs starting to be healthy and moving well. We have a lot of options on offense, and what does that mean for a guy like Trey Knox? He's going to be in some man-to-man, one-on-one situations, opportunities to use that size, use that speed, and go up and catch those 50-50 jump balls. I think that's going to be today. I think Felipe says, hey, 7, let's do something special today. So we'll see.
I'm with you.
Yeah, hopefully we can turn around that jinx that Mike put on you a few weeks back. Anyway.